Sinex Metrodata Indonesia telah mencatatkan diri sebagai pemain penting dan terbesar dalam distribusi produk dan solusi teknologi informasi komunikasi lebih dari 4 dekade. Peran tersebut semakin kuat setelah pada 26 September 2011 dilakukan joint venture dengan Sinex Technology International Corp yang berbasis di Taiwan. Sehingga portfolio produk dan jangkauan wilayah pelayanan Sinex Metrodata Indonesia bertumbuh dengan cepat dan kualitas layanan pun semakin terpercaya, lengkap dengan infrastruktur bisnis yang dapat diandalkan. Semua itu menjadikan Sinex Metrodata Indonesia sebagai perusahaan distributor produk dan solusi teknologi informasi komunikasi terbesar di Indonesia dan berkelas dunia.
Kehadiran Sinex Metrodata Indonesia telah menunjukkan hasil yang sangat menggembirakan. Dengan dilandasi oleh 3 nilai penting, yaitu integritas, profesionalisme, dan entrepreneurship. Kami berkomitmen untuk mewujudkan perusahaan ini menjadi perusahaan distribusi produk dan solusi teknologi informasi yang berkelas dunia di Indonesia. Namun demikian, penghargaan yang paling besar yang kami miliki ialah kepercayaan dari para prinsipal dan mitra usaha kami. Bersama-sama dengan mereka, kami tumbuh bersama-sama menjalin kemitraan yang luar biasa, menjadi perusahaan yang kompetitif di Indonesia. Saat ini kami dapat mewujudkan salah satu visi kami membangun kemandirian dalam pengelolaan logistik, sehingga kami dapat menunjukkan kepada stakeholder bahwa kami sudah memiliki kompetensi utama dalam bisnis kami untuk mendukung mitra usaha dalam delivery barang yang lebih efisien.
Dengan jangkauan pasar yang luas di Indonesia, SME dapat menyediakan jasa bagi para prinsipal untuk memasarkan produknya dan ikut menikmati potensi pasar yang begitu besar di Indonesia. Sebagai perusahaan distribusi terbesar dan terpercaya dengan kredibilitas perusahaan yang memiliki pengalaman lebih dari 40 tahun di bidang teknologi informasi dan komunikasi, kami terus berinovasi dan menerapkan sistem yang mutakhir dengan memiliki jaringan terluas di 20 kota dan melayani lebih dari 150 kota di seluruh Indonesia. Portofolio lebih dari 70 vendor teknologi kelas dunia, serta jaringan distribusi di lebih dari 4.500 mitra bisnis di Indonesia. Sebagai perusahaan distribusi terkemuka, Sinex Metrodata Indonesia menyediakan berbagai kemudahan bagi mitra bisnis dalam melengkapi kebutuhannya. Kami menyediakan ragam solusi dan produk teknologi informasi komunikasi terlengkap dan berkelas dunia, didukung dengan tenaga profesional dan bersertifikat. Logistik merupakan salah satu core bisnis Sinex Metrodata Indonesia sebagai distributor. Untuk itu, SME memperkuat pengelolaan logistik dengan warehouse management system yang dapat diandalkan, canggih serta mengadopsi sistem komputerisasi terkini dan juga menerapkan solusi transport management system guna mendukung proses pengiriman. Bisnis semakin berkembang, portofolio juga semakin bervariasi. Tidak hanya perangkat teknologi informasi dan komunikasi, kami juga memasarkan produk elektronik lainnya. Demikian juga dengan ragam solusi yang kami miliki, antara lain IT infrastructure, cloud, software, dan Internet of Things. Sinex Metrodata Indonesia adalah mitra bisnis terpercaya yang maju dan berkembang bersama Anda.
Selamat pagi menjelang siang Bapak Ibu, apa kabarnya hari ini? Halo, halo, selamat siang, ini sudah menjelang siang ya. Selamat siang Bapak Ibu sekalian, halo. Apakah terdengar suara saya? Mungkin boleh Bapak Ibu, saya diberikan feedback di kolom chat. Oh, siang. Oke Bapak Ibu boleh diganti terlebih dahulu ke all panelists dan all attendees mungkin. Bisa dibantu mungkin diganti dulu ya ke all panelists dan all attendees ya chatnya ya. Oh, loud and clear. Thank you, Bapak Hermansyah. Oke, terima kasih. Sekali lagi saya ucapkan selamat siang dan selamat bergabung Bapak Ibu tamu undangan webinar dalam webinar Accelerating Multi-Cloud Security persembahan dari Horangi dan PT Sinex Metrodata Indonesia. Apa kabarnya nih hari ini? Oh, sudah terdengar jelas dan manis. Aduh, Bapak Hendy. Oh, luar biasa ya. Baik, baik, puji Tuhan, baik. Saya ingin mengucapkan selamat berpuasa terlebih dahulu untuk Bapak Ibu yang menunaikan ibadah puasa. Semoga puasanya lancar-lancar ya Bapak Ibu ya, sampai nanti hari kemenangan ya, dan semuanya dalam keadaan sehat. Luar biasa, betul sekali. Baik, kami mengucapkan banyak terima kasih atas kehadiran Bapak Ibu sekalian. Senang sekali kita dapat berjumpa secara virtual dalam keadaan sehat dan tetap menjalankan protokol kesehatan dimanapun Bapak Ibu berada ya. Baik, hari ini akan banyak sekali informasi yang akan dibagikan. Kalau tadi Bapak Ibu sudah disuguhkan dengan video profilnya, ada apa sih hari ini, akan ngobrolin apa sih? Yes, hari ini kita akan banyak sekali ngobrolin mengenai cyber security, di mana belum lama ini saya baca sebuah artikel ya mengenai ancaman serangan cyber memang sulit dihindarkan dalam kondisi saat ini, di mana jumlah penetrasi internet melonjak tinggi dan tingkat keamanan perangkat belum menjadi priority atau prioritas. Apalagi pemahaman soal keamanan cyber, masyarakat Indonesia dinilai masih rendah. Hal ini disampaikan oleh Chairman and Co-founder Indonesia Cyber Security Forum (ICSF) yang mengakui edukasi soal keamanan cyber di Indonesia masih tergolong baru dan belum merata. Menurutnya kesadaran akan pentingnya keamanan data ini sangat dibutuhkan bagi perusahaan dalam mengelola aplikasi, perangkat, dan aset. Apalagi edukasi dan kesadaran masyarakat soal keamanan cyber masih lemah, maka akan menjadi ancaman berbahaya di kedepannya. Menurut prediksi beliau, 5 prediksi serangan cyber di tahun 2021 yaitu serangan malware seluler, kemudian phishing, kemudian smishing, dan perangkat IoT dan ransomware akan semakin canggih. Baik, menjawab kebutuhan tersebut secara istimewa hari ini Horangi dan PT Sinex Metro Data Indonesia hadir menghadirkan solusi terupdate untuk Bapak Ibu sekalian yang nanti akan disampaikan oleh speaker-speaker saya. Hari ini speaker saya luar biasa, banyak sekali loh ya Bapak Ibu, dan akan banyak sekali informasi yang pastinya penting untuk Bapak Ibu simak dari awal hingga akhir. Nanti akan ada sesi dari Bapak Lee Heng selaku Direktur dari PT Sinex Metro Data Indonesia, kemudian Mr. Paul Harji. Mr. Paul Haji adalah CEO dari Horangi, kemudian Mr. Darrell Chuan selaku Country Manager dari Horangi Indonesia, kemudian Mr. Jay Kazavan selaku APG Regional Manager Horangi, kemudian Mr. Rafael Payet yang merupakan Director of Product dari Horangi, kemudian Ibu Regina Gabriela selaku Account Manager Horangi yang nanti akan membahas lebih dalam dan memberikan informasi-informasi terupdate serta menarik untuk Bapak Ibu simak pastinya dari awal hingga akhir. Tidak hanya itu, karena hari ini kita juga punya banyak sekali hadiah yang sudah menanti Bapak Ibu, yang pastinya juga tidak kalah ditunggu-tunggu pastinya, karena hari ini kita punya 3 door prize utama, yaitu ada Smart TV 32 inch. Nah, siap-siap ya Bapak Ibu, ditungguin sampai akhir, karena nanti ketika namanya saya panggil atau saya undang, tidak hadir di dalam ruang webinar, akan kami anggap gugur ya, dan kami akan mengganti dengan peserta yang lain. Selain itu akan ada juga JBL Tune 220, kemudian logam mulia 1 gram untuk Bapak Ibu yang beruntung. Oke, hari ini juga di feedback form nanti akan ada banyak sekali hadiah yang akan dibagikan untuk Bapak Ibu sekalian, akan mendapatkan botol dan cap khusus dari Horangi. Jadi pastikan Bapak Ibu tuh untuk tetap berada di ruangan webinar dari awal hingga akhir. Baik, tanpa berlama-lama lagi, saya akan segera membuka acara kita pada pagi hingga siang hari nanti ya, sudah menuju siang. Pastinya Bapak Ibu sudah tidak sabar. Ya, baik, saya akan langsung saja mengundang dengan hormat Bapak Lee Heng selaku Director dari PT Sinex Metro Data Indonesia untuk dapat memberikan welcoming speech untuk Bapak Ibu sekalian. Halo Bapak Lee Heng, selamat siang.
Selamat siang, selamat pagi.
Pagi menuju siang ya, berarti tengah-tengah. Baik, Bapak Lee Heng, silahkan.
Terima kasih, Alina.
Ya.
Pertama-tama saya ucapkan ya selamat pagi, selamat siang lagi bagi teman-teman partner di sini. Saya senang sekali hari ini bisa sharing dan juga kebetulan kita ada distinguished guest juga. Thank you banget atas supportnya oleh Horangi ya, dari Paul sebagai CEO, Darrell sebagai Country Manager Indonesia, lalu Jay, Ralph, dan juga Regina ya. Thank you so much for your support. Dan pada pagi ini saya ingin menyapa tentunya dan juga salam sehat dan sejahtera selalu ya bagi rekan-rekan partner ya. Dan kita tidak berasa 1 tahun telah kita lalui bersama ya. Saya masih ingat April tahun lalu kita itu mulai yang namanya lockdown ya, PSBB dan lain-lain. Dan tentunya pada saat itu banyak sekali perubahan yang terjadi, ya, termasuk cara kita kerja, lalu planning kita semuanya berubah. Nah, saya juga ingin sekedar sharing kepada teman-teman partner di sini bahwa kita itu juga banyak perubahan, ya. Kita itu melakukan akselerasi terhadap digital transformasi. Tentunya sebagai IT perusahaan IT, kami pun juga melakukan digital transformasi, business transformation, tapi gara-gara pandemi akan terjadinya lebih cepat, ya. Jadi saya akan sharing beberapa hal. Sebentar saya akan share screen saya, ya. Sebentar. Ya, mudah-mudahan screen saya sudah bisa terlihat, ya. Bisa terlihat dengan jelas, ya? Oke, baik. Ya. Nah, ini sekedar saya sharing. Tadi saya sudah sampaikan tentang saya akan update tentang digital transformation, ya. Lalu saya highlight juga tentang cyber security karena terus terang cyber security itu menjadi masalah yang kritikal karena kita berubah cara kerja dan lain-lain. Dan kebetulan saya beberapa bulan yang lalu dan tahun lalu pula saya sempat berpartisipasi sharing juga, ya. Ada beberapa data yang saya ingin sharing untuk awareness dari Bapak Ibu sekalian bahwa security ini begitu menjadi critical priority karena dampaknya luar biasa terhadap business continuity kita, gitu, ya. Lalu saya akan masuk juga ke rekomendasi karena bagaimanapun juga rekomendasi ini adalah penting sekali bagi kita di cyber security ataupun melakukan bisnis transformasi, ya. Jadi ini beberapa hal yang saya akan sharing. Nah, ini kantor kita, ya. Kantor kita di APL Tower masih sama, gudang kita juga di Cibitung, ya, yang kita launch di tahun 2019. Nah, kita melakukan perubahan di kantor. Jadi learning from the experience, gitu, ya. Tahun lalu kita bisa bekerja dari mana saja, ya. Jadi Board of Director Metro Data kita decided bahwa masa depan kita bekerja seterusnya akan hybrid modelnya, ya. Jadi kita renovasi kantor kita 400 meter persegi dari 2000 meter persegi kantor kita rubah menjadi collaboration space sama customer experience hub. Tujuannya adalah nanti tentunya Bapak Ibu di rekan partner bisa ajak customer Bapak Ibu sekalian untuk experience dan juga menikmati solusi-solusi dari Sinex Metodata Indonesia. Ataupun jika partner-partner memiliki intellectual property solution yang lain, itu juga bisa dikombinasikan dengan solusi kita, gitu, ya. Nah, jadi kebetulan di Sinex Metodata Indonesia, kita biasa direktur itu duduknya di satu room, di akuarium, gitu, ya. Nah, itu saya sendiri pribadi, saya bilang sama Board of Director bahwa saya tidak perlu meja saya lagi, jadi saya hilangkan tuh. Karena kenapa? Saya lebih demen duduknya di yang comfortable area itu, ya. Nah, ini juga satu hal yang baru. Jadi kita ada setting lab baru, ya, untuk kita doing POC, demo preparation dan lain-lain. Ini letaknya di tengah kota, jadi di Ancol, ya. Kita akan launch segera di kuartal 2 ini. Kita masih ada yang di Cibitung, tapi yang di Ancol ini saya rasa lebih tepat untuk berkolaborasi, ya, karena letaknya lebih dekat. Dan di sini nanti setelah solusinya di-tested, nanti bisa di-project back ke kantor kita untuk di-experience bareng customer-customer Bapak Ibu sekalian. Nah, hal lain lagi yang kita lakukan adalah kita luncurin Nextworld, ya. Ini adalah sneak preview karena kita akan luncurin ini bulan depan, ya. Itu adalah 360 virtual world yang dimana Bapak Ibu sekalian bisa experience, ya, experience booth vendor-vendor kita yang buka booth di sana bisa di-experience segala macam kontennya, dan ini open 365 days a year, ya. Jadi bisa anytime mau lihat, mau cari tahu tentang produk and solution dari Sinex Metodata Indonesia, feel free bisa akses ke sini 360 world, ya. Nah, masuk ke related topik hari ini, cyber security, tentunya ya kita bisa melihat dari example yang saya berikan di sini, ya. Khususnya kalau ini memang saya waktu itu ada event di bidang education dan healthcare, ya, which is dua vertical segment yang really critical, ya, yang menjadi perhatian dunia. Kenapa? Karena ya kita semua pada waktu pandemi dan sekarang kita lalui bersama, kita melakukan everything from home, ya. Sebutnya EFH. working from home, school from home, education, semua titik-titik berada, maksudnya titik-titik adalah kita melakukan dari mana saja. Nah, ini yang membuat exposure menjadi makin besar. Ya, jika kita lihat di sini juga during pandemi itu terjadi akselerasi nggak cuma digital transformasi, tapi cybercrime is also rising. Ya, kita bisa lihat di sini dari ZDNet ya 2020, attack ransomware itu naik, meningkat 715% year on year, yang dimasking as a COVID-19 related issue gitu. Nah, di healthcare bahkan ada sampai orang meninggal, perempuan meninggal tidak dapat layanan medical. Why? Karena datanya di health ransom, ya, jadi tidak bisa diakses. Nah, masuk ke topik kita hari ini tentang cloud, public cloud security breach. Ini saya ambil data juga, ada artikel cukup recent juga di bulan Juni 3, 2020. Ya, ini saya highlight yang circle yang tengah itu statistiknya. 79% companies experience satu kali data breach, cloud data breach in the past 18 months. Ya. Dan 43%-nya, setengahnya hampir ya, lebih dari 10 atau lebih attack ya, data breach. Nah, ini membuat kita berpikir bahwa kebanyakan customer kita yang menggunakan public cloud, such as AWS dan Google, mereka kadang-kadang tidak memiliki resources yang memadai tentang cyber security. Tadi sudah di-highlight ya oleh Alina ya, bahwa banyak sekali kekurangan human resources yang mempunyai capability and knowledge tentang cyber security. Apalagi public cloud, which is platformnya orang, ya, platformnya third party, ya, yang di mana mereka memiliki policy dan lain-lain configuration. Di sini juga di-highlight ya, kalau kita lihat statistiknya ya, top 3 cloud security priority itu compliance monitoring ya, permission management, security configuration management. Di sini juga top 3 cloud security threats are security misconfiguration in production environment, 67% ya. Jadi banyak sekali. Nah, saya nggak mau berlama-lama karena tentunya nanti ada expert ya dari Paul, dari Daryl untuk sharing, untuk dari Jay atau dari Ralph juga bisa sharing beberapa hal yang tentunya sangat bermanfaat bagi kita semua di sini gitu. Nah, saya mau masuk pada preparation, bagaimana untuk kita better prepare ourselves ya, our organization itu dari mana mulainya? Mulainya tentunya ya kita ada fokus di 3 hal yang biasanya mendasar di semua transformation ya, people, process, and technology, right? Nah, number 1 adalah adopt cyber security framework ya, yang menjadi acuan bagaimana kita bisa planning tentang kita punya cyber security. Yang kedua, training and certification for your organization human resources. Tentunya dengan segala macam teknologi yang Bapak Ibu adopt ataupun customer adopt, kita harus mengerti kenapa kita buying something, right? Using something gitu. Makanya itu ya, terus terang ya kita sebagai satu-satunya distributor untuk EC Council, lembaga sertifikasi dunia yang terbesar untuk cyber security, ini juga memiliki hasrat untuk membantu para customer kita lebih aware tentang cyber security. Kenapa penting? Dan makin penting karena digital sekarang semua. Nah, yang ketiga adalah upgrade your security technology ya, to accommodate the dynamic range of cyber attacks. Jadi teknologi it can be a lot of things. Makanya itu banyak sekali yang perlu di-refresh karena kalau udah tua kadang-kadang banyak hole-nya yang banyak sudah tidak di-update lagi oleh vendornya, gitu ya. Jadi ini harus continuous. Masuk ke 4. Continuous assessment, evaluation, dan improve your cyber security posture. Yang dimana ini exactly where Horangi can help you and your customers. Ya, terutama ya pakai AWS, pakai Google. Mereka nggak semuanya company besar yang memiliki resources untuk cyber security. So, bagaimana caranya untuk better protect yourself? Ya ini salah satu cara ya. Makanya itu nanti saya sangat exciting sekali to be able to partner up with Horangi, launching in innovative solution. Ya, even though this is a startup solution yang udah proven ya, startup tapi sudah proven. Makanya nanti bisa kita lihat banyak sekali customer-customernya yang benar-benar ya Bapak Ibu sudah familiar lah di Indonesia. Ya. Nah, Terakhir saya ingin wrap up sebenarnya adalah tentang tadi kita sudah bahas tentang bagaimana kita prepare organisasi kita terhadap cyber security ya. Lalu masuk ke bagaimana kita during digital transformation ini prepare for ourselves to be future proof, to be still relevant in the future. Kita pertama fokus di people, process, dan technology. Tentunya semua ini didrive dari di framework saya itu konsepnya adalah innovation. Innovation is driving the changes in people, process, and technology. Tapi tentunya di people kita harus melakukan yang saya sebut itu adalah transformational leadership, yang dimana adalah people centricity. Makanya kita juga fokus terhadap education, terhadap knowledge, terhadap awareness. Lalu masuk ke proses yang dimana harus di-lead dengan change management. Karena banyak proses yang berubah. Apalagi kita mengalami dalam situasi during pandemic ini, banyak sekali hal-hal yang berubah. Tidak ke kantor lagi gitu ya. Majority tidak ke kantor. Sehingga kita harus bisa mengakomodasi yang kita sebut itu location independence. Dan yang terakhir tentunya dari teknologi, tadi kita sudah sebutkan, kita harus melakukan digital transformation, business transformation, yang ujung-ujungnya adalah apa? Resilient delivery. We have to be able to deliver apapun juga yang kita mau deliver ke customer, ke just cost-nya kita. Jadi, ini saja dari saya, semoga sesi ini bermanfaat dan saya senang sekali, again, thank you so much ya untuk para teman-teman partner di sini. Please enjoy the session. I think this will be worthwhile for all of you. Thank you. Tuhan memberkati ya. Mari.
Terima kasih Bapak Liheng. Tuhan memberkati juga. Sehat selalu ya Bapak Liheng.
Thank you.
Oke, thank you Bapak Liheng. Ya, tadi kalau saya boleh meng-highlight sedikit Trinity of Being Future Proof. Jadi ada people, ada proses, dan teknologinya. Jadi bersiap-siap untuk kita akan beralih ke transformasi semuanya ya. Oke, baik. Kita akan segera masuk ke sesi kita yang pertama, yang mungkin juga tidak kalah Bapak Ibu tunggu-tunggu hari ini. For our first session, we would like to invite the CEO of Horangi, who will be presenting about Horangi overview and cloud security trends. Please welcome Mr. Paul Haji. Hello, Mr. Paul.
Hello. Thank you so much, Alina.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Yeah, doing well.
Okay. Please enjoy the presentation.
Thank you. So I'm Paul Haji. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Horangi. Essentially a bit about myself. It's originally American, but worked for a company called Palantir for the early majority of my career, always focused on security issues. So I spent 7 years there kind of growing them from a 60-person startup when I joined to a public company now that just recently listed last year. Actually, like while I was working at Palantir, they sent me all around the world, and Singapore being the last stopping place. And I moved here in 2013. While in Singapore, I got the opportunity to run the security team for Grab. So in 2016, I left Palantir and became the CISO at Grab. And really, that's kind of like where the idea of Horangi came out. Having used AWS and other cloud services majority of my career, when I went to Grab, trying to get help in terms of solving some of the security problems they had and using their cloud infrastructure, couldn't find a vendor that could support me in the region. So I had to end up going to the US and subsequently sort of had the idea to kind of build and start Horangi with the other co-founder around solving the cloud security problem. And that was only back in 2016. So grown quite a bit since then. Can I go to the next slide? Yeah, so the company was officially started in 2016 with myself and the CTO, but we've grown quite a bit since then. So we're about 100 employees now. We raised multiple rounds of venture capitals from Singapore VCs as well as an Indonesian VC, which is Provident Growth. So they've invested in companies like Gojek, Traveloka, and they're kind of like related to the Tower Bersama group. So quite a lot of business in Indonesia. So of those 100 employees, about 65% of them are here in Singapore, with another 30 to 35% being in Indonesia. So we do have a large team in Indonesia that's run by Daryl. But the company itself, we focus on solving a problem around the cloud in terms of security. And basically the thought process around that is there's just not enough cybersecurity experts in general, and then subsequently, especially not enough cybersecurity experts that have a deep understanding of the cloud. So we built the company and the services that you'll see later, as well as the product around helping to solve that problem. and look forward to kind of presenting that to you today. Next slide, please. Yep. So the company itself is CREST certified. So that's quite important, especially in the banking industry, as well as anyone who's regulated through any Singapore regulation or locally, of course, with OJK there in Indonesia. So we've been CREST accredited for over 3 years. We also have the AWS, we're part of the AWS ISV Accelerate programs, and we're one of only 2 companies across this region that is a part of that. And that's very recently just received. We also have the AWS security competency, which we're actually the only company in Southeast Asia with that. So again, a lot of experience in terms of helping provide not only our technology, but our services capabilities in helping organizations secure their applications in the cloud. But even more recently, we've actually listed our product and services in the marketplace, the AWS marketplace as well. So definitely have a good sort of knowledge in cloud and the security of Harangi as a company, and certifications that we work with our customers on are very good. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to show up today and show my support for this initiative with Metro Data Synex, and work with everyone here to kind of get Harangi more in Indonesia. I will touch a bit more on some of the key customers that we have in Indonesia, which are very well known, and some of them are our biggest partners. And yeah, with that, I'll pass it off to Daryl, who leads our Indonesia office. Thank you guys, everyone, and terima kasih, and thank you for the time.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Pohoji. Very nice.
you.
And I saw you have a lot of podcasts, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Pohoji. So, like what Mr. Pohoji told before, so we're gonna go to the next session. For our next session, we would like to invite the country manager of Harangi Indonesia that will be presenting Harangi services. And please give your applause to Mr. Daryl Chuan. Hello, Mr. Daryl Chuan. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Hi, I'm very great today. So, are you ready for your presentation today?
I am.
Okay, please enjoy the presentation.
Thank you, Bob. Yeah, selamat siang, Bapak dan Ibu semua. My name is Daryl Chuan. I am the country manager for Harangi's team in Indonesia. And today I'm going to be speaking about a couple things. So the first will be just a sort of quick look at Harangi's team here in Indonesia. And then the second part, we'll be looking at some of the services that we offer our clients. So can you go next? Yeah. Okay. So Harangi's been operating in Indonesia since 2017, and we initially made a name for ourselves by working with some of the largest and most notable technology companies in the country, the likes of Gojek, Tokopedia, Bukalapak, Blibli, and the likes. As a startup ourselves, we basically grew alongside many of our clients, with some of the names here you see on screen basically having worked with us literally when we were still a one-man team here in Indonesia, all the way up until today, where we now have a team of 26 professionals, which makes Indonesia our largest operation outside of our Singapore headquarters. As we continue to grow, we were able to attract more enterprise clients, particularly in the financial services space. And we intend to grow our presence in Indonesia even further, which I think this partnership with SMI shows. Lastly, I think just wanted to note that our office is at WeWork in SCBD. We would obviously love to meet all of you eventually, hopefully once the COVID situation here improves. So if ever you're around the area, please do pop by our office and have a chat with us to see how we can work together. Next slide, please. So services. Yeah, so I think most of you are probably here because of our CSPM tool, Warden, which my colleague will be talking about in more depth later on. But what I wanted to talk about was our service offering. So I think what sets Harangi apart, especially in this region, is that we're one of the very few security companies that not only develops its own product, but also has a full-blown services team. In fact, I think close to half of our team is actually made up of security consultants that deliver our services. So essentially, we break up our services into two main categories. The first is offensive security, and the second is strategic. And I'll touch on a bit of both next. So firstly, on offensive security. What is it and why do companies need it? So broadly speaking, offensive security are activities that simulate attacks to your organization. And the purpose of it is to identify security flaws and as well as remediations before a real life threat actor gets the chance to exploit those flaws. This is important because it allows organizations to essentially assess their ability to detect and respond to potential threats. And it also creates a sort of baseline of security that can be reassessed on a regular basis. So the majority of our offensive projects are on penetration testing and vulnerability assessments, but we also have red teaming services, secure code reviews, as well as phishing campaigns. As Paul mentioned previously, we are a CREST certified company, which is it's an international certifying body for cybersecurity. And we are also we have one of the largest and most certified offensive security teams in the country. Next. Yep, so next I'll touch on our strategic services. As many of you probably already know, there is a shortage in security talent globally, which is even more pronounced in Southeast Asia. This makes it even difficult, this makes it difficult even for large organizations to hire in-house security talent because there's just such a small pool to choose from. So essentially, our strategic services were developed to address this issue. So when an organization engages Harangi for strategic services, Harangi essentially becomes like an extension of their C-level. So all the services you see here, cybersecurity assessment, compliance, CISO as a service, are essentially what a chief information security officer would be responsible for if they joined an organization. Especially nowadays, as companies are going through digital transformations, moving from, for example, on-premise solutions to the cloud, or maybe even moving from a single cloud strategy to a multi-cloud strategy, we've been getting a lot more demand for strategic services to help companies sort of maneuver the security landscape. And finally, we also have experience dealing with most of the major compliance standards relevant to this region. So, for example, ISO 27001, PCI DSS, and Indonesia specifically, OJK, just to name a few. So yeah, that's everything from me. Thanks again for your time, and I do hope we can work together with all of you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Daryl Chuan. Thank you so much. Stay healthy, stay safe.
Thank you.
Oke. Baik, itu tadi informasi yang sangat menarik ya dari Mr. Daryl Chuan, di mana memang rekan-rekan pasti sudah pada kenal ya dengan brand-brand tadi yang sudah bekerja sama dengan Harangi. Baik, kita akan berlanjut ke sesi selanjutnya yang juga tidak akan kalah pentingnya untuk menginformasikan kepada Bapak Ibu sekalian mengenai multi-cloud security, YCSPM. Untuk itu, we would like to invite the APG Regional Manager Harangi that will be presenting about multi-cloud security, YCSPM. Please put your hands together to Mr. J. Kasavan. Hello, Mr. J, how are you?
Hello.
Hi. How are you today?
Very good. Very excited about this webinar.
Yeah, we also excited about your presentation as well. Okay, please enjoy the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you again to all the partners for joining us for this SMI partner launch, right? End of the day, it's going to be a product-centric conversation and demo. But what we would like to bring on the table, right, it's how can we help partners like you guys, highlight and promote your overall technical expertise or specialization in cloud through our product portfolio, so that you can differentiate your business according to respective competition out there, right? End of the day, we see how much value that you can bring, certain value to the customers, and from there we can move a long way in terms of the overall channel partnership, right? So before I go deeper into the product, I just want to bring your attention that if you talk about cloud security breaches are becoming very common. It's getting very closer to home. And most of the breaches is a result of cloud misconfigurations, right? And cloud providers are responsible for securing the cloud stack. However, customers or organizations or the users are the priority responsibility in terms of having that cloud security aspect done in it, whether it's your applications or database, right? Recently, it has been one of the key focal point for Gartner analysts. A senior analyst did mention that nearly all successful attacks on cloud services are a result of customer misconfiguration, mismanagement, or mistakes, right? I think you guys has been, some of the key partners in the region. You guys are pretty familiar with all the technology trends. Cloud computing is becoming, or it's really the next big thing. And Indonesia is one of the fastest growing region in terms of public cloud adoption. However, we're still seeing a lot more cloud misconfiguration as a leading cause of security incidents. Yet, like what Daryl and Pak Ling mentioned, right? Businesses or organizations, whether you're a small startup, a unicorn, or a large organization, still lack the talent and expertise to prevent such breaches, right? Instead, if you look at it, most of the times human error is often the culprit in the recent breaches, and these incidents are costly, right? Definitely a definitely a dent in your branding. It takes time for organizations to recover from such negative impact, right? So that's definitely going to hit you guys in the long run. Next. Right. So what is Warden? Right. So Warden is a plug and play multi-cloud security platform that looks after your customers' cloud infrastructure. Right. So we move into landscape of security misconfiguration. We help customers adhere to compliance framework. Right. So what we know is a new niche vertical within the security pillar. We call it CSPM, Cloud Security Posture Management. Right. So Warden, the name of the tool, helps to ensure that any exploitable cloud misconfigurations are discovered and remediated timely, right? So that whichever cloud workload the customer put on or have it on their public clouds, they get to stay compliant and still ensure that they're applicable to your day-to-day business, right? The sweet spot of where Warden is, right? Now you guys know there's a lot of security products, available in the market. But where we stand ourselves and differentiate is that we are out of the box. We're able to set up the security platform or CSPM coverage in minutes, right? So customers can get an enterprise-grade security automation tool within 10 minutes of onboarding, right? There's no code required. A simple cloud connection, all it takes to get your cloud environment protected. You don't need any high-end complex server or fundamentals setup, right? So what we're trying to target is that whether your customers are a small startup moving to cloud or a large organization who has a lot of security components in place but still doesn't have a CSPM, you definitely have a good leverage in terms of positioning Horangi Warden, right? To give you a bit of context, right? You might saying, Jay, why is the need for CSPM? I already have my Palo Alto, I already have my Trend Micro. Why is there a need for us to have CSPM, right? So let me break it into a few buckets. First thing first, like I mentioned, traditional firewalls or security hardwares or solutions are not equipped to tackle the cloud security management, right? So like I mentioned, it's always been a human error. It's always about looking for misconfiguration. So key thing is discovery and visibility, right? So what Warden offers is to your customers is that we give you deep visibility into your cloud assets and configurations. We give you or we establish a single entry point across your cloud environment. So we support multi-cloud, right? So one single tool can help you manage AWS and GCP. and we are going to launch Azure and Ali Cloud, right? Second thing, remediation, and it has to be quick. So what we wanted is we don't want to be another tool that is also complex to use. Another important role of us is that we help to identify, prioritize, eliminate, and remediate security risks, right? So what we do is that we kind of compare your findings with industry and organization benchmarks and ensure that all these violations are being quickly identified and remediated, right? So this will definitely help to prevent a lot of cloud resource being exposed and ensures that whether you are a DevOps a personnel or a IT infrastructure personnel to make or reduce costly mistakes, right? So during the demo later, you can see we provide step-by-step remediation. We give you playbooks and also one-click remediation, right, to kind of expedite these rules, these fixes. Second thing is we provide integration to major organization workflows like Slack, Jira, and GitHub. Okay. The third thing that we are seeing a lot more growth in Warden, especially in APAC context, is that the DevSec visibility, right? So what you realize is that because cloud is so agile, so flexible to move, anybody can really move application to cloud. But what happens is that because it removes complexity and friction, we also want to ensure that having that holistic or large span of cloud resources are being, there's a tool for you to guys to ensure that there's a CSPM tool to ensure that we continue to identify critical cloud resources that becomes an entry point for attackers, right? So Warden customers, right, or your customers can be confident that we are able to fix the security issues by themselves without spending time on how or getting third-party security advisory, right? So anyone who has some level of or minimum IT background or security background, able to use the tool to the full advantage. Next. Right. So I think when you talk about cloud, there's always about whose responsibility, right? Where do customer play against AWS or GCP, right? So if you look at the CSP stack, right? They are more of the responsible of security of the cloud, right? So it includes all the physical infrastructure that runs the underlying cloud services. Whereas customer, although you are leveraging on their platform for scalability and growth or expansion, customer is responsible for everything in the cloud, right? It includes the configuration chosen by the customer for the cloud resources. So, like I said, because of this cloud growth, right, in terms of proliferation of cloud resources, many organizations are unaware of how many cloud resources are running and how they are configured. Gartner released a statement in March that out of 9 out of 10 large enterprise customers that they spoke to, most of them weren't even aware of certain gaps that was open to public, right? So this is something that has been a critical or mandate requirements for any organization to step up their cybersecurity posture, right? So this lack of visibility is the key reason why it caused misconfiguration, right? To go undetected for a long period of time. And it's making harder to secure applications, right? We have seen examples like, a few years back for Bukalapak, we see Tokopedia. So definitely there's a lot of these breaches are getting closer to home. So as partners, I think you guys can educate your customers that cloud environments are becoming too large or complex for any size of organizations to rely on a human or manual approach, right? Where going through an automation process will be the most appropriate step forward, right? So Horangi Warden gives you has rules, right, close to about 270 and counting across key services like your IAM, your AWS S3 buckets, your EC2, right, even on GCP, KMS, your BigQuery. So each rule is complete with an appropriate risk value. We give you a detailed description on what is the impact, right, and an option to execute whether it's a playbook or one click where you see during the demo. Next. Right. So the other aspects is the compliance, right? So Common to all organizations, or especially cloud-based organizations, besides security, compliance is the byproduct, right, of being secure, right, in terms of building a trustworthy business. As your organization grows and expands across not only within Indonesia, or you expand across APAC or even worldwide, customers will face a lot of location-specific challenges. So for Horangi, as what Paul or Daryl has mentioned, you can always pivot on a security force mindset, right? Whether it's on Horangi services or on the Warden portfolio, to be diligent about having best practices to maintain a cost-effective compliance program, no matter the regulatory requirements. So we're definitely scaling up our out-of-the-box requirements or compliance mapping. If your customers has reached out to you asking for something that's not within our portfolio, please talk to us. We're definitely keen to see how we can scale the mapping framework. Right, so choosing the right cybersecurity framework from a list of available compliance mapping, right, requires a lot of, I would say, intimate understanding of your business in terms of your jurisdiction, your business requirements. You need to have a dedicated person to do the line-by-line mapping. So what we do is Warden helps to automate the compliance of your organization to always be audit ready. We help you empower your organization, reduce the time spent on reading compliance documents, creating reports. So we have a dedicated team just to ensure that this mapping is done in a more effective and reducing your SLA, right? So these are definitely some of the key advantage of the Warden. Next. Right. So I think this is a quick slide that I want to share with you. So Horangi Cybersecurity, right, the Warden tool, has been also mentioned in the Gartner's market guide. Reaffirms our philosophy and focus that of delivering enterprise-ready cloud security solution in a more simplified form, right? Of course, it kind of integrates into the development lifecycle, right? So we are, of course, focused on building more rule set, expanding our regional frameworks, compliance standard to support the customers as we serve in Asia or globally, right? To partners is Horangi, we are not just to be a service provider, but to be a partner to support and build a robust cybersecurity protection, right, for your customers' business needs today and tomorrow, together with, of course, SMI overall solution offering, right? Again, we are not here to provide a service. We are here to build collaboration, right? We want to hear from you how much we can kind of excel our product portfolio, working together to kind of uncover blind spots and kind of deliver a more stringent security solution for your customers, right? So we want to be a partner of your choice when it comes to top quality security services and product portfolio to better detect, investigate, or respond to any kind of security threats quickly and more efficiently, right? So whether you could be a small reseller or a mid-sized managed service provider or a large system integrators, we definitely seen a lot of more traction with any of the customer size. So talk to us to see how we can kind of elevate the overall partnerships and collaborations together with SMIT. Right. Next. Right. So definitely very excited to share our some of the releases that's outlined in the upcoming months and quarters, right? So of course, like I mentioned, we are do multi-cloud. Azure will be out by this quarter, and Ali Cloud will be early Q3. So definitely it gives you a lot of expansion into your customers in terms of having multi-cloud. We're also moving towards real-time alerting, right? So we're seeing a lot more customers asking us, hey, Jay, can we have more accurate and more granular risk contact across multi-cloud? So these are some of the features that we're increasing. We're also going to be moving up the IAM feature set, right? So the UEBA, which is the user entity behavior analytics, right? Where it takes note of the conduct of the normal conduct of users and kind of give them a benchmark. So these are some of the exciting features that we're going to be releasing. So to a customer is that they're going to be getting a simplified tool, but an enterprise ready platform. Next. Right. So before I move this will be my last slide before we move into the more interesting part, which is the demo. What I wanted to give you a summary is that, like I mentioned, the CSPM plays a very important role in the current cloud environment, right? Reducing the possibility of data breaches, right? So again, according to Gartner, misconfiguration is one of the most common mistakes of cloud users, right? And what they have mentioned is that with CSPM in place, it reduces configurations for such security breaches by up to 80%, right? But on the flip side, effective cloud native security also relies on proper administration of user access, right? Your identity access management policies, right? Be it to workloads or data residency, right? So as cloud adoption continues to grow rapidly, even in Indonesia, we're seeing double or even triple digit growth. And given the resources often um, created, you can spin resources up and down in a matter of hours or even minutes, it's becoming a challenging reality for security teams, right? Or even to your cloud infra team to kind of manage the access rights, right? So where vWarden come in is that as a customer, you don't need to have multiple enterprise tool to get all these security features. You have a single platform that gives you the security exposure, insights, and visibility, right? Of course, to give you your identity and access management setup, yet still giving you that the CSPM calibration to reduce your entire misconfiguration about at least close to 80%, right? So what we do is we kind of eliminate excessive access rights, privileges based on access patterns or data sensitivity. We help to flag I would say suspicious access behavior, right? Could be I think of sensitive data access or privilege escalations or even resource detection. So to address these challenges and in terms of our growth strategy, we continue our commitment to bring customers the most comprehensive cloud posture tool under a single product, yet providing a unified dashboard, which you see in the demo in a short while, for customers in terms of enterprise depth, visibility, and command and control, right? So definitely, whether you are a partner, a reseller, or managed service provider, offering this entire CSPM solutions to your customer, they're definitely going to be garnered to see a more, to see a difference in terms of how we scale up the cloud security hygiene, right? That's all I have for now. I think next we're going to move into the demo. So over to you.
Thank you, Mr. J. That was amazing. With
Thank
the
you.
vWarden, fix security misconfiguration and compliance violence, and manage identities and access to enterprise resources combined into one, right? Becoming a Warden
Yes.
IM. Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. J. Kazavan. Oke, baik. Kalau baru saja kita sudah mendengarkan mengenai apa itu Warden ya, dan Warden yang IM nih yang sudah hadir di bulan April. Nah, sekarang ini saya akan melaju ke sesi selanjutnya, yaitu seperti yang sudah disinggung sebelumnya, yaitu mengenai Warden Demo. Seperti apa sih sebenarnya Warden Demo? Nah, untuk itu, tapi sebelumnya saya ingin menginformasikan terlebih dahulu untuk Bapak Ibu yang mempunyai pertanyaan, silakan drop your question di kolom Q&A ya, Bapak Ibu. Ini kolom Q&A ada di sebelah kolom chat. Ya, oke, ini Bapak Iwan, boleh ya Bapak Iwan nanti ditulis kembali ya pertanyaannya ke dalam kolom Q&A ya, Pak. Oke, terima kasih. Wah, menampaknya Mr. Rafael sudah bersama saya. Alright, for our next session, we would like to invite the Director of Product, Horangi, that will be presenting about Warden Demo. Please give your applause to Mr. Rafael Payet. Hello, Mr. Rafael, how are you?
Hi, Lena. I'm great.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. Okay, please enjoy the presentation and the demo, please.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for your time today. I'm excited to share more about our product, Warden, and how it can help you and your customers on both the cloud security posture management and IAM. Let me bring up the demo right now. Okay, so what I'm showing you today is our demo environment, we've got it set up with a multi-cloud environment that is meant to be representative of what some of your customers are going to have, right? So we've got a number of different accounts or projects across both AWS and GCP here. The main thing to note about Warden is it's meant to be a unified place for customers to go and find everything that they need to know about their cloud security posture and identity posture, right? It is also designed to be lightweight. And the reason for that is, as you've heard before, there just aren't enough people today with the right cybersecurity and cloud security expertise. What that means is in most organizations, those teams either don't exist, are really understaffed, or you'll have different teams doing security instead of a dedicated security team. So for example, DevOps doing more of the security because there is no cloud security team. And so we've really tried to put that into our product to make sure that we're solving cloud security problems of those companies that don't have a super well-funded, super large cloud security team. So let's dive in. This is the dashboard that you get when you log into Warden. First thing to note is this is what you'll see after only 10 minutes of integration. It takes 10 minutes to get this visibility that most organizations today don't have at all, right? And that visibility is gold. You cannot protect what you can't see. So 10 minutes and you get this dashboard. This is meant to show you an overview of your current security posture. So here on the left, you'll see all of the findings, all of the misconfigurations that we've identified in your accounts by severity. The reason that that's important is realistically, people are going to prioritize. And so they're going to focus on critical and then high. And only once those are done, will they focus on the majority. And what we've done there is by highlighting things like that, you can narrow down the amount of work that you need to do from something that you would need a large team to do to something that a smaller team can do, right? So that's why we're really tailored to those companies that have little to no, or at least not enough security and cloud security personnel and expertise. The second thing that you have here is compliance. Now, compliance is a significant driving force for people to care about security. And that may be because they are regulated by OJECA for privacy considerations, or they're trying to follow best practices like CIS, or compliance standard like ISO 27001 if they have that certification or they're trying to get it to go after enterprise customers. So here you'll get at a glance what your compliance posture is. Up here, we can see the evolution over time of the findings in my environment, particularly here, the critical and high ones that I care about first. It's broken down by environment. So here, we've got a multi-cloud one, an AWS and a GCP one. For other customers, this might be development, production, staging, or it might be different applications. And the reason that they're split out here is so that you can focus on what matters the most for each environment. For example, if you have PCI DSS regulated data, so for example, credit card details that are stored in an environment, the security and compliance bar for that is going to be different from another project where there's no sensitive data at all. And again, that helps you to prioritize and focus without spending too much time because you don't have that much time available. The next section here is absolutely critical. It shows you everything that has changed in your environment, right? So we're looking at the past 10 days or so. What has changed? This allows me to immediately focus on all of the new misconfigurations so that I can investigate them and remediate them while they're still fresh. I can quickly send a message to the developer that created a misconfigured S3 bucket like this one and get them to fix it quickly and painlessly. If I wait a few days or a week or months nobody will remember what this was for and if this was done on purpose or not. So that's why showing what's new is absolutely critical. In fact, for a lot of teams, they don't spend their days refreshing this dashboard. Instead, what they do is they integrate with Slack, for example. And whenever we find a misconfiguration, we'll send a Slack notification just like this one that shows exactly what we've just found on your account. Here we can see that all these 5 buckets do not have server-side encryption enabled. And that's going to be a problem if there's any sensitive data stored in there, because most compliance standards require encryption of data at rest. So anytime anyone in the company is making a misconfiguration in the cloud, the security team will receive a notification like that and know what to do. Clicking on resolve on any of these brings you right back here. And what we've designed Warden to do is to explain everything in terms that you can understand, regardless of your level of expertise. So what that means is, if you're not a cloud expert, but you know security, we'll help fill in the gaps about cloud. If you are a cloud expert, but weak on security, we'll explain the security considerations and the implications of this misconfiguration so that you know why it matters. Let's look a little deeper at one of these. So here of these 23 misconfigurations that were found during this time period, we have a few S3 buckets that are not encrypted by default. So if I click on here, we can see, so these are all of the buckets that were found. If I click on this one, what you'll see here in the description is all of the details that will help me understand what is happening. Why is this a problem? If I already know cloud security well, maybe the title is enough. Great, save time, move on. If I don't, we'll explain what the problem is, the implication, and references if you want to learn more. We'll also explain all of the specific controls of specific compliance standards that are affected by this. So there are several for the Monetary Authority of Singapore, AWS's well-architected framework, and many more. The usual flow here is you'll get a notification on Slack saying, oh, there's a problem. And the security team will have to triage that to figure out, is this a real problem or not? In cases where it isn't a problem, for example, this S3 bucket has only public data, right? Data that is meant to be publicly accessible, then this definitely wouldn't be a high severity action. And we can quickly change that to a different severity or even accept the risk so that this no longer is something that the security team needs to care or even spend any time thinking about. But in this case, this actually is a problem. I do need to encrypt this, this bucket. So now that we've seen how we can triage, let's see how we can fix this. Again, we're assuming that a lot of these teams don't necessarily have the expertise to know exactly how to fix this without thinking about it for a second. And that's why we have detailed remediation steps. The first one I'm going to go through is the manual remediation. And this basically walks you through all of the different steps that you need to do in the AWS Management Console to fix the problem. But going through this will take you a few minutes. And if you have many different issues, well, we can do better than that. The next step is with a playbook code and one-click remediation. And here we have prepared a code snippet that you can run in one click that fixes this issue for you to bring down the time to remediation even faster. So let's run it and I'll explain what it does as it runs. Essentially what we have here is we've prepared a snippet of code that will check if the bucket exists, if it has still server-side encryption enabled or not, and then we will enable that encryption, essentially closing the misconfiguration that occurred in the first place. All of that with just one click. We can also do this in bulk. So if I have many different S3 buckets that need to be encrypted, I can select them all, and then in one click, fix all of these misconfigurations. Again, if you can picture about where we're coming from, if I'm in a team that does not have a huge amount of resources, that might not have experts in S3 bucket encryption, this is absolutely game-changing. The last thing that we have to remediate is for those customers that are using infrastructure as code in Terraform templates, instead of fixing it in one click directly in their environment, some customers may prefer to fix it in their infrastructure as code templates. So if anybody tells you, oh, but I have infrastructure as code, great, we've got you covered as well. And here we'll provide you the instructions to update your infrastructure as code to fix the misconfiguration there. Once we've fixed all of that, it's great. We also have a trace of everything that happened from when the misconfiguration was introduced here on the 20th of April to when it was fixed, in this case, with the one-click remediation that I performed just now. As you can see, it takes just a few seconds. But also, if any other changes were made to this, as I explained before, for example, another teammate had marked this a medium, that will show up in the history as well. In fact, I have one that I did a little earlier here, which is a medium, and I'll show you what that looks like. So in the history tab, we can see that I made a change from high to medium, explaining why. All of this is tracked so that there's full auditability of any change made here. Again, helping people stay secure without having to overthink too much, focusing really on the time that matters. As Jay mentioned earlier, we also have integrations with many different task management tools like GitHub, Bitbucket, Jira, for those that want to assign this issue to be fixed elsewhere, as some large companies will choose to do. So that wraps up the core part of the dashboard. But sometimes you also need to dig a little bit deeper. And that's why we have a detailed breakdown of all of your resources and findings by region, by resource. And if I go here into the resources page, which I've loaded already to speed things up, you can see all of the resources that you have in your environment. Again, all this took was 10 minutes of setting it up. So the return on investment of setting up the tool is instant. You have a visibility you never had before. And this allows you to do things like look at all of your S3 buckets and see how are they doing S3 bucket by S3 bucket. So this one, for example, is passing some controls. It's not completely misconfigured, but there are still 8 misconfigurations, some of them critical. So those are things that I'll want to fix right away. Clicking in here displays exactly the same rich context as we demoed earlier. So that's the resources. The next piece that I want to show you is compliance. So compliance here, I've got it loaded, preloaded here to speed up time. We'll show you how your infrastructure is doing against a specific compliance standard. We've got a large number of compliance standards, as you can see here, across different clouds. Some local ones like MESTRM or Bank Negara Malaysia. OJK is coming out in a couple of months. It's already being worked on. Or ISO 27001, which I'm going to use here as a demo. I've filtered things out to look only at my production account because that's the one that I'm caring about today. And what you'll see is we've split out the ISO 27001 requirements. And all of these requirements, this is taken directly from ISO 27001. So if you have an auditor that's checking whether you're compliant, this is what they're looking at. And we've organized all of this data here to speed up the time that it will take you to become compliant and to stay compliant. Whenever you have an audit, you can give access to your auditor to this tool. They'll be able to get all of the evidence to prove that you are compliant to these different controls. Let's use an example. Control 13.1.1 says that there must be network controls. Great, we've got many rules that check for network controls. A long list here. For each of those, we have provided which ones are passing, which ones are failing, so that the auditor has all of the information that they need to assess your compliance. Again, all it took those 10 minutes, and you get a view of your compliance for each of your accounts for any compliance standard that we support. When you need to send that to an auditor, you can generate a report. The report is an Excel file which contains the same information, but in a format that you can easily share with your auditor or store so that you can have a trace of your compliance state over time. And that's compliance. Obviously, if you have decided that something is not relevant to you and you've suppressed it, for example, accepted a risk, that will show up here and not be counted towards your compliance score, because each organization's compliance is a little different. Now that we've talked about compliance, I want to show you a little bit about IAM. Now, 75% of misconfigurations in the cloud, these breaches, happen due to misconfigurations in identity and access management. And that's why we've moved in a big way into this area. I'm going to show you only one flow today, but the tool allows you to do much more. It gives you visibility into the relationships between the identities, the permissions that were granted to them, and the resources that they can perform things against. Obviously, we cover all of the different types of identities, from users, roles, groups, service accounts. It's all there. One of the key things that you can answer with this is to quickly figure out which users have access to which type of resources. So let's look at security extremely quickly, because we're parsing all of that data, simplifying it, crunching it to show to our users just the information that they need. But it still goes deep. So for example, we can see exactly that Serial here has access to many different permissions across many different types of resources. A key use case is going to be to figure out who has access to a sensitive piece of data. So here in the Resource Explorer, I'm going to open up this S3 bucket, which for the purpose of this demo, let's assume contains credit card information. By clicking on here, I will see every user, every identity that has access to this S3 bucket. I can even filter for here to only show those that have a specific type of access. So I can see only users that have write access to this S3 bucket. What that allows me to do is to quickly identify if there are any issues here. If I click on any of these identities, I can see exactly which types of access they can have, to the level of detail that you would expect if you're managing this in DevOps, but with the overview level that most people will need before they go into any depth. In particular, for anybody that doesn't have the time to comb through all of these permissions, this dashboard will tell you exactly where to start and help you get to answers like, who has access to my most sensitive data in minutes instead of hours or days. And that's why we're really, really excited that IAM is the new significant chunk of our Warden product, bringing together cloud security posture management that's checking the configuration of your resources with cloud identity entitlement management, which is making sure that your identity and access is properly configured to limit both the likelihood of a security or data breach, as well as the impact when it does happen. That's it for the demo today. Thanks so much for listening. And if you have any questions, please direct me in the Zoom.
Thank you, Mr. Rafael. There's some question in the Q&A column, so I'm gonna read one by one. Okay. Oke, mungkin boleh bergabung dengan saya. Saya juga ingin mengundang Ibu Regina Gabriela selaku Account Manager dari Horangi. Apakah sudah bergabung dengan saya?
Yes.
Hai, Ibu Regina, selamat siang.
Halo, selamat siang semua.
Oke, kita akan sembari menjawab pertanyaan ya Ibu Regina ya.
Yes.
Oke, pertanyaan pertama dari Bapak Johan Saputra Lulupolim. Saya mau tanya untuk brand ini dari sisi secure-nya bagaimana ya? Gimana nih Bu Gabriela?
Sorry, aku nggak bisa lihat di Q&A.
Oke, aku bacain lagi ya. Saya mau tanya untuk brand ini dari sisi secure-nya bagaimana?
Okay, so I'm just going to translate this so our team can know. So someone is asking the security of the product. Is that what the person is implying?
I think the way I'm reading this is just in terms of our offering. Is that also correct?
Actually, that was from the question number 1 from Johan Saputra Lulupolim. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I guess the best way I can sort of describe or to answer this question is that in terms of what we offer, there's generally 2 main categories. The first of which is from the services, and the second is from the product. So for a lot of our larger enterprise clients and the clients that we work very closely with, we tend to work with them on both fronts, both on the product as well as the services, to provide sort of like a more holistic solution. I think that a lot of the content from the slides that we presented today sort of alluded to sort of the offerings that we offer. Thank you.
Oke, thank you Mr. Daryl. Ibu Regina mau ada yang ditambahkan mungkin?
No, I think that's all for this question.
Oke, semoga sudah menjawab pertanyaannya Bapak Johan ya, Bapak Johan Saputra ya. Oke, terima kasih. So we're gonna move to the next question. This is from Mr. Agus Ruhimat. How effective is ransomware detection and recovery compared to the competitors?
Right. So thank you, Pak Agus, for the question. So for this, in terms of Warden, the product itself helps to identify configuration issues in cloud that will reduce potential exposure to ransomware. But please note that this is only for the cloud infrastructure and not the on-premise environment. So this is from the Warden side, yeah. But this question, we believe that it requires a deeper understanding of the scope of ransomware detection and recovery. And our team is happy to take an offline discussion also with the SMI team. So yeah, I hope that answer the general questions.
Oke, baik. Semoga terjawab ya Bapak Agus. Nanti boleh nih bisa kontak-kontak ke SMI juga ya untuk informasi dan mungkin mau berdiskusi lebih lanjut. Betul ya Ibu Gabriela ya?
Yes, correct.
Oke, terima kasih. So we're gonna move to the next question. This is from anonymous attendee. Okay. Does Warden applicable for on-premise infrastructure?
Okay, thank you also for this question. Jadi Warden is not applicable for on-prem infrastructure, so it's for public cloud only.
Okay, so it's only for a public cloud, ya. Yeah. Alright. Baik. Terima kasih. Ini pertanyaannya dari siapa? Bapak atau Ibu anonymous attendee. Terima kasih pertanyaannya. Aku juga tidak tahu, maaf. Kemudian for the next question, we have Mr. Juniardi Yusuf. Sorry, I'm late to join this. Is there any requirement for Horangi to do the penetration test? How long does it take? How if customers want to use Azure for their CSP and Horangi Warden only support with AWS and GCP?
Okay, thank you, Pak Juniardi, for the question. So I'm going to answer the Warden question first. So how if the customers want to use Azure for their CSP? So exciting news, we are actually releasing Azure end of this quarter. So if you are interested in onboarding, the CSPM to your Azure, it's going to be available soon. We're also releasing for Ali Cloud next quarter. So soon these two will be available outside AWS and GCP. Untuk pertanyaan penetration test requirement dan
how long does it take?
Yeah, Daryl, actually, do you want to?
Yeah.
add on
Yep.
there?
Sure. So yeah, in terms of requirement, we typically will send out a scoping questionnaire to our clients to kind of understand, obviously the scope of the work as well as just the number of the number of man-day effort that is required to complete the project. The duration varies quite a bit. It can be as small as a 5-day pen test for a very small application, all the way up to more than 15, 20 days for a larger application. So we'll only be able to tell the duration once we get the scoping out of the way.
Oke, baik. Ada lagi mungkin yang mau ditambahkan sudah Ibu Gabriela?
Yes, I think that's all.
Oke, baik. Thank you. Terima kasih banyak pertanyaannya Bapak Juniardi Yusuf. Kita akan beralih ke pertanyaan selanjutnya. This is from Mr. Iwan Java Dwipa. Wow, that was a good presentation. He asked about the sizing tools and the licensing.
Right. Terima kasih Pak Iwan untuk feedbacknya. Semoga berguna. So this is a question about tool sizing and licensing.
Right. Yeah.
So generally we are on resource-based and we have different tiers for our pricing. So on details, I can let Jay to maybe go in details a little bit. I know he's, I think he prepared something as well, right, Jay?
Yeah, correct. Do you want to go to yeah? So basically, this is the license segmentation of the Warden tool, right? So what we have is like we are catering for organization of various sizes, be it they are new to cloud or they are enterprise customers. So we have size ranging from various aspects of it. But the sweet spot is that, like you mentioned, we are multi-cloud. So even if the customer move with a particular license tier, for example, let's say they buy with the starter tier, they can have 300 resources on AWS and 200 for DevOps applications on GCP, right? So you kind of mix and match their requirements. And we don't practice a rip and replace kind of a engagement. We are definitely, there's a scalable engine for them to kind of scale their cloud resources. So what we're trying to partners is like, as a customer, hey, you are new to cloud. Why don't you buy something to start off with to ensure that your first application doesn't have all these security vulnerabilities, right? And then as you move along your growth, Warden and the partners together can kind of scale your hygiene, right? And on top of it, that's where the additional services element from Daryl's team also come in to give you the overall holistic security experience. To give you a perspective of the coverage, right? If you look at it, we have a lot of enterprise features that we have embedded in our licensing tier. Later part, SMI team will share some of the promotion that's key for Indonesian partners. But we integrated enterprise features like SIM integrations, right? We have the IM feature that Raf shared earlier, and lastly, all these real-time dynamic scans, right? But what's this for you guys is that you're getting both the CSPM, the CIM feature in one single unified dashboard. The pricing wise, of course, depends on sizing, but to give you a perspective, our closest competition price point is close to about, I would say the other way around. We are at least about 10 times lower than them, right? And you're still giving the enterprise grade features. Like I said, so end of the day to customer is like, okay, I just want something simple. I just want to ensure that anything that I put on cloud, it's being taken care of, and I don't want to pay so much because I already have all these enterprise vendors in place, right? So we are seeing a lot more customers moving towards CSPM, but already identified that they have only want these limited features, but do not want to pay pricing based on consumption. They do not based on resources. That's where Warden fits superbly. So talk to us. We're happy to kind of identify the opportunities together with your team. And then see which the license tier that fits accordingly for your customers.
Oke, baik. Thank you, Mr. J, for the information. That was very helpful. Bapak Iwan, terima kasih juga pertanyaannya. Semoga sudah terjawab. Kita akan beralih ke pertanyaan selanjutnya. Masih ada 2 pertanyaan lagi nih, Bu Gabriela. Ini dari Ibu ya, Ibu Tri Aryani ya. Ibu ya, betul ya? Oke, selain enterprise and multi-finance, apakah Horangi juga sudah ada experience di telekomunikasi company?
Right.
Company telecommunication ya?
Yes. Untuk experience di telco company, yes, we do have experience with telco company across Southeast Asia. Of course, not everyone we can disclose, but some of the leading names, perhaps in Singapore, we can share Vodacom. We've worked with them, also Singtel. So yeah, we definitely have experiences with telco companies.
Oke, keren banget. Baik, semoga Ibu Tri Aryani sudah terjawab pertanyaannya ya. Ini pertanyaan yang terakhir dari anonymous attendee lagi. Ini mohon maaf dengan Bapak atau Ibu siapa. Horangi berada di kuadran mana ya di Gartner? Gimana nih Bu Gabriela?
Okay, so for this question, I'm going to let Raf perhaps answer this in detail since he would be more capable.
Could you just translate?
Which quadrant we fall into within Gartner?
So we don't fall into any quadrant because Gartner does not yet have a magic quadrant for this category. So they have the concept of a category called CSPM and CIEM, as we've shared, but they don't have a magic quadrant yet because it's too new a category. Hopefully they'll have one soon and we'll be right up there. But yeah, for the moment, they don't have it yet.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you, Rafael, Mr. Rafael. Oke, pertanyaannya sudah habis, Ibu Gabriela. Kita akan berlanjut ke sesi selanjutnya. Thank you all for the information, for the presentation, and for helping me to answering the question. That was very amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oke, thank you so much everyone. Baik, kita akan berlanjut ke sesi selanjutnya. Sudah ada di layar chat Bapak Ibu sekalian. Nah, silakan Bapak Ibu bisa mengisi link feedback form yang sudah diberikan. Ya, silakan diisi terlebih dahulu. Tapi sebelumnya saya akan mengundang dulu Bapak John Alexander Kawawan selaku product manager dari PT Sinex Metrodata Indonesia for Horangi. Hari ini Bapak John punya apa nih yang spesial buat Bapak Ibu saya nih yang sudah hadir hari ini?
Ya, terima kasih Mbak Lina.
Ya.
Ya, selamat pagi menjelang siang Bapak Ibu semua. Saya berharap kita semua juga dalam kondisi baik dan tetap juga semangat di akhir-akhir session ini. Karena dari tadi saya melihat beberapa pertanyaan dari beberapa partner. Memang kelihatannya Bapak Ibu di sini sebagian besar juga sudah bermain di area cyber security dan kita berharap kita juga bisa complement solusi multi cloud security ini ataupun servicesnya ke Bapak Ibu semua. Dan seperti pada product launching event yang lain, kami juga ada beberapa offering kepada Bapak Ibu partner di sini. Jadi nanti mungkin saya akan share sedikit beberapa offeringnya dan kalau misalnya ada yang ingin ditanyakan silakan langsung chat ke kami atau mungkin nanti kirim email. Oke, saya mungkin buka dengan offering yang pertama. Jadi untuk Warden sendiri ini ada beberapa offering. Yang pertama untuk Starter Kit dan yang kedua untuk Enterprise Kit. Kalau misalnya ada beberapa Bapak Ibu yang mungkin agak miss dalam penjelasan Jay tadi mengenai Warden, bisa kontak ke kami. Dan untuk eksklusif promotionnya ini pun nanti kami bisa share ke Bapak Ibu semua. Dan untuk lebih lanjutnya, silakan kontak ke kami. Kalau penjelasan secara detail, saya coba jelaskan sedikit untuk eksklusif promotion ini. Jadi untuk starter kit, Warden starter kit, ini dengan free enterprise grade risk mitigation features, seperti yang tadi sempat Jay jelaskan di table mengenai services subscription Warden di awal. Dan yang kedua untuk enterprise kit. Dan ini hanya berlaku sampai 21 Juni. Jadi Bapak Ibu kalau ingin mengetahui lebih lanjut dulu, sebelum juga kita mungkin bisa apply untuk promonya, kita mungkin ingin akses lebih dulu mengenai opportunity yang mungkin bisa dibawa ke customer Bapak Ibu semua, silakan terlebih dulu nanti kontak saya atau tim SME. Kemudian untuk selanjutnya, kita ada juga nanti bagi Bapak Ibu yang mengisi feedback form, silakan diisi segera feedback formnya seperti tadi sudah diinfokan Mbak Lina. Nanti kami akan ada giveaway berupa tumbler dan Horangi cap. Jadi beberapa pertanyaan di feedback form harap diisi semua sehingga kami juga dapat gambaran mengenai apa yang Bapak Ibu dapatkan di event siang hari ini. Oke, next. Dan ini untuk lead registration atau deal registration. Jadi untuk deal registration ini kami ada beberapa offering juga untuk 10 partner yang pertama kali direct akan mendapatkan 750.000 e-voucher dengan t-shirt, dan untuk 50 deal rec selanjutnya akan mendapatkan 200.000 e-voucher dengan t-shirt. Dan untuk deal rec ini juga silakan email aja ke kami, nanti kami akan kualifikasi mengenai lead ini. Jadi jangan takut kalau misalnya memang baru dapat gambaran besarnya atau baru dapat kira-kira dari user itu requirement-nya seperti apa, silakan info ke kami. Nanti juga kami akan memberikan kuesioner seperti tadi Daryl sudah mention di awal. Jadi sebisa mungkin apapun informasi yang Ibu Bapak tahu mengenai opportunity cloud security di customer Bapak Ibu semua, silakan aja info ke kami. Dan mengenai deal reg ini, next, itu bisa di email saja ke kami, karena nanti format deal reg-nya ini hanya deal registration, Horangi, SMI, kemudian di email ke kami. Dan untuk partnership dengan Horangi SMI itu cukup simpel, karena sekarang ini juga Horangi juga masih dalam tahap partner recruiting. Jadi kita menunggu email dari Bapak Ibu semua untuk partnership dan untuk deal registration. Dan kami juga berharap nanti dari Bapak Ibu semua setelah mengisi feedback form bisa langsung juga bagi tadi Bapak Ibu yang sudah melakukan beberapa pertanyaan dan melihat bahwa solusi ini bisa di-apply atau di-propose ke end user Bapak Ibu semua, silakan saja langsung email ke kami. Di horangi@metrodata.co.id. Oke, itu saja mungkin dari saya kembalikan ke Mbak Alina. Terima kasih.
Baik, terima kasih Bapak John. Mungkin Bapak John nanti boleh ya Pak John diketikin di kolom chat ya Pak. Tadi kontaknya kemana ya Bapak John, sempat hilang suaranya sesaat tadi, maaf. Oke, terima kasih Bapak John. Nah ini saatnya kesempatan. Baik, terima kasih Bapak John sudah ada nih di alamat chatnya Bapak Ibu. Silakan Bapak Ibu bisa langsung menghubungi ke horangi@metrodata.co.id. Langsung saja berpartner, dapatkan tadi promonya banyak banget dan pastinya bermanfaat untuk Bapak Ibu sekalian. Oke, saya ingin mengajak sekali lagi Bapak Ibu untuk mengisi feedback form. Sudah diinfokan tadi akan mendapatkan tumbler dan cap ya, spesial dari Horangi nih ya. Jadi Bapak Ibu silakan diisi feedback form. Linknya sudah ada di kolom chat dan Bapak Ibu bisa langsung scanning QR code yang ada di layar Bapak Ibu ya. Karena data Bapak Ibu juga nanti akan kami undi ke dalam undian door prize kita. Hari ini kita punya lucky draw yang luar biasa banget. Ada 3 hadiah utama. Ada 1 buah logam mulia, 1 gram emas ya, kemudian ada JBL Tune 220 dan Samsung Smart TV 32 inch. Jadi Bapak Ibu silahkan diisi dengan data yang lengkap, terutama alamat pengiriman. Nanti apabila Bapak Ibu beruntung menjadi pemenang hari ini, Bapak Ibu akan dikirimkan produknya kurang lebih 14 hari kerja ya untuk pengiriman produk hadiahnya. Oke, baik. Ya, kita sebentar lagi akan segera masuk ke bagi-bagi hadiah selanjutnya karena bagi-bagi hadiahnya hari ini banyak banget. Kita akan masuk ke kuis. Nah, kuisnya seperti apa? Saya mau bacain dulu ya rules-nya. Mungkin boleh kita masuk ke rules kuisnya. Sembari kita menunggu Bapak Ibu yang lain, mungkin ada yang belum selesai ya, belum selesai mengisi feedback form, silakan diisi terlebih dahulu. Baik, saya akan bacakan dulu rules dari kuis kita siang hari ini. Nanti saya akan membacakan pertanyaan sampai selesai dan memberi tanda mulai di chat. Ya, tandanya tuh seperti apa sih? Nah, tandanya mungkin boleh dikasih lihat terlebih dahulu. Titik, titik, titik. Nah, itu dia. Jadi silakan Bapak Ibu menuliskan nama Bapak Ibu dan jawaban ya. Oh, Pak peserta yang paling cepat mengetikkan nama, oh akan di-mute. Oke, baik. Jadi nanti akan ada nama aja, jadi nanti akan di-unmute untuk menjawab secara lisan. Hari ini kita akan bagi-bagi 10 t-shirt kece untuk Bapak Ibu sekalian dari Horangi dan pastikan Bapak Ibu menjawab dengan cepat dan tepat ya. Baik. Sekali lagi saya akan membacakan pertanyaan sampai selesai. Tunggu titik-titik terlebih dahulu. Silakan Bapak Ibu menuliskan nama Bapak Ibu di bawah titik-titik tersebut ya. Nama yang paling cepat akan di-unmute dan akan menjawab secara lisan. Untuk Bapak Ibu yang sudah menang di pertanyaan sebelumnya, Bapak Ibu tidak dapat mengikuti pertanyaan selanjutnya. Baik, Bapak Ibu sudah siap belum nih? Boleh dong diketik dulu siap. Diganti dulu ke all panelists dan all attendees ya Bapak Ibu ya. Oke, Ibu Meing boleh diganti dulu ke all panelists dan all attendees supaya kita bisa membaca nanti nama Bapak Ibu sekalian. Oke. Oh, baik. Oke, rules-nya diganti. Ini jadinya tidak usah di-unmute ya. Oke, baik. Jadi silakan Bapak Ibu menuliskan nama dan jawaban. Karena masing-masing pertanyaan nanti akan diambil 2 nama tercepat dan paling tepat ya. Jadi silakan Bapak Ibu nanti boleh langsung mengetikkan nama dan jawaban setelah titik. Oke, sudah siap semua nampaknya ya? Atau sudah mulai berada di keyboard masing-masing? Baik, saya akan segera buka pertanyaan yang pertama. Tunggu sampai saya selesai membacakan pertanyaannya ya. Where are Horangi headquarters located? Oke. Baik. Oh, sudah banyak jawaban masuk, saya akan langsung hitung mundur ya. Kalau saya hitung mundur, artinya sudah tidak ada lagi yang Bapak Ibu mengetik ya. Oke, 3, 2, 1, stop. Oke, saya akan mengecek terlebih dahulu. Baik, 2 nama yang paling cepat. Oh iya, jawabannya dulu ya. Jawabannya adalah apa nih? Dan jawabannya adalah Singapura. Betul sekali. Jadi di layar saya 2 nama paling cepat adalah Bapak Sigit Wicaksono dan Bapak Adam Hilman Fadilah. Bapak Sigit, apakah ada? Bapak Hilman juga apakah masih bersama kami? Oke. Baik. Sudah mengisi feedback form ya, Pak? Sudah ya? Oke, nanti datanya akan tim kami akan menghubungi Bapak dari data yang sudah Bapak input tadi ya. Baik, selamat kepada Bapak Sigit dan Bapak Adam Hilman. Oke. Baik, kita ke pertanyaan yang kedua. Siap-siap, caranya masih sama, Bapak Sigit dan Bapak Adam sudah tidak bisa mengikuti lagi ya. Kita akan berbagi dengan peserta lain. Oke, sudah siap ya. Nah, ini dia pertanyaan berikutnya. Since when Horangi established in Indonesia? Sabar, 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 sabar. Tunggu titik-titik. Oke, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Ya, kita akan buka jawabannya. Dan jawabannya adalah 2017. Baik. Kalau di layar saya, yang paling cepat 2 nama adalah Bapak Kurniawan dan Ibu Dian. Ibu ya? Ibu atau Bapak nih Dian? Ibu ya? Apakah ada Bapak Kurniawan dan Ibu Dian? Apakah masih bersama kami? Oke. Sudah mengisi feedback form? Oh, sudah dong. Luar biasa Ibu Dian. Baik. Oke, kita akan berlanjut ke pertanyaan yang ketiga. Siap-siap. How many offensive security services Horangi provide? Nah, ayo, berapa ayo? Oke, baik. Oke, 3, 2, 1, stop. Wow. Baik, banyak jawaban sudah masuk ya. Jawabannya yang tepat adalah 4. Oke. Di layar saya yang paling cepat adalah Bapak Teddy Hutapea. Dan kemudian saya catat terlebih dahulu ya Bapak Ibu ya. Ini ada Bapak Teddy Hutapea dan berikutnya adalah, ini atas nama siapa ya? From tidak ada namanya. Oke, berikutnya adalah Lutfi ya. Dari Lutfi, betul ya? Tunggu, saya cek sekali lagi. Oke. Dari Bapak Lutfi CV Bumi Raya Indonesia ya. Oke, Bapak Lutfi dan Bapak Teddy apakah sudah mengisi feedback form? Masih bersama kami? Oke, sudah baik. Nah, semakin deg-degan karena pertanyaan di tangan saya tinggal 2 terakhir. Siap-siap Bapak Ibu, tunggu sampai saya selesai membacakan pertanyaan dan tunggu sampai ada titik-titik hadir di layar chat Bapak Ibu ya. Jangan lupa sertakan nama dan jawaban untuk nanti saya bisa membacakan siapakah kira-kira yang benar dalam menjawab. Sudah siap? Kita berlanjut ke pertanyaan yang keempat. What is Horangi product for multi-cloud infrastructure security and compliance? Nah, ayo, apa tadi kira-kira? Wow, cepat sekali nih jawabannya, seru banget. Baik, saya akan hitung mundur ya. 3, 2, 1, stop. Baik, kita akan buka dulu, jawabannya adalah Warden. Nah, siapakah yang paling cepat menjawab? Ini ada Bapak Kevin dan Bapak Juniardi ya. Apakah masih bersama kami? Bapak Kevin dan Bapak Juniardi, oke. Bapak Kevin, Bapak Juniardi sudah mengisi feedback form? Sudah. Bapak Kevin sudah ya? Oke, mungkin sudah maksudnya. Oke, baik. Oke. Kita akan ke pertanyaan yang kelima. Siap-siap, ini pertanyaan yang terakhir ya Bapak Ibu. Harap disimak baik-baik. Siapa tahu Bapak Ibu yang beruntung mendapatkan t-shirt kece dari Horangi hari ini ya. Pertanyaan yang kelima. For now, how many cloud providers support by Warden? Nah, tahan dulu Bapak Ibu, tunggu sampai ada titik-titik ya Bapak Ibu. Semua kayaknya sudah tidak sabar ingin segera menjawab ya. Oke, baik, saya akan hitung mundur. 3, 2, 1. Dan jawabannya adalah AWS dan Google Cloud Platform. Oke, saya akan lihat dari titik-titik tadi ya. Oke, ini cuma menjawab 2, 3, 2, 3. Oke, apakah ada yang menjawab dengan tepat? Ini dari Bapak Hendy. Kemudian satu lagi saya akan mencari. Ibu Wiwik ya, Ibu ya, Livankat, Ibu Wiwik ya, Ibu ya. Oke, baik. 2 jawaban tercepat terakhir dan terbenar adalah Bapak Hendy dan Ibu Wiwik. Apakah masih bersama kami? Halo, Bapak Hendy dan Ibu Wiwik. Oke, baik. Sudah mengisi feedback form, Ibu, Bapak? Sudah ya? Ibu Wiwik juga sudah? Oh, sudah. Baik. Baik, selamat 10 nama yang sudah berhak mendapatkan 10 t-shirt kece dari Horangi. Ini ada Bapak Sigit, Bapak Adam, Bapak Kurniawan, Ibu Dian, Bapak Teddy Hutapea, Bapak Lutfi, Bapak Kevin, Bapak Juniardi, Bapak Hendy, dan Ibu Wiwik. Sekali lagi saya ucapkan selamat. Inilah 10 pemenang dari kuis kita hari ini. Nah, ini yang tidak kalah ditunggu-tunggu juga, karena setelah ini saya akan mengumumkan 3 pemenang door prize kita hari ini. Nah, kira-kira siapakah yang akan membawa pulang 1 gram logam mulia, ataukah JBL Tune 220, atau Samsung Smart TV 32 inch. Saya akan mulai dulu dengan 1 gram logam mulia. Silakan di-start. Siap-siap Bapak Ibu. Harus hadir ya, kalau enggak kami anggap gugur ya. Ini dari Bapak atau Ibu Amin. Mungkin boleh diketikkan terlebih dahulu Bapak atau Ibu Amin. Halo, apakah masih bersama kami? Bapak atau Ibu Amin? Gugur. Jangan dong Pak, masa langsung didoain gugur Pak. Bapak atau Ibu Amin, halo selamat siang. Oh Bapak, Bapak Amin, boleh di-unmute terlebih dahulu Bapak Amin? Oke, halo Bapak Amin, selamat siang.
Siang, Bu.
Halo Bapak Amin, selamat Bapak Amin mendapatkan 1 buah logam mulia. Apa kabar hari ini Pak?
Ya, baik Bu, makasih.
Baik, semangat Pak.
Makasih Bu.
Masih seneng nggak Pak dapat hadiah logam mulia hari ini 1 gram?
Ya, seneng Bu, makasih Bu.
Oke, baik. Terima kasih Bapak Amin. Sekali lagi saya ucapkan selamat ya.
Makasih Bu.
Oke, stay safe, stay healthy Pak Amin. Kita akan berlanjut ke hadiah yang kedua, yaitu JBL Tune 220. 3, 2, 1. Siap-siap siapakah yang hari ini berhak membawa 1 buah JBL Tune 220? Bapak Renaldi Edwin, apakah Bapak Renaldi Edwin ada? Halo, selamat siang. Halo Bapak Renaldi Edwin. Ini Bapak Johan dari tadi doainnya gugur terus, jangan dong Pak. Bapak Renaldi Edwin, apakah ada? Halo Bapak Renaldi Edwin. Hai, Bapak Renaldi Edwin, boleh di-unmute Bapak Renaldi?
Halo, siang.
Halo, selamat siang Bapak Renaldi, apa kabar?
Baik-baik, Bu.
Baik, masih semangat ya Pak?
Iya, harus dong, Bu.
Luar biasa. Gimana nih Pak? Mendapatkan 1 buah JBL Tune 220.
Waduh, senang sekali, Bu.
Senang sekali ya. Boleh dong mungkin ucapan terima kasih buat Horangi sama PT Sinex, Pak.
Iya, sebelumnya terima kasih untuk Sinex Metro Data dan Horangi atas event yang telah diselenggarakan ini, sangat bermanfaat, dan terima kasih juga atas giveaway-nya.
Yeay, terima kasih Bapak Renaldi, sehat selalu ya Pak.
Iya, baik, terima kasih.
Oke, terima kasih Bapak Renaldi. Dan saya masih punya 1 hadiah terakhir, yaitu Samsung Smart TV 32 inch. Kira-kira siapakah yang beruntung pada siang hari ini? 3, 2, 1. Nama saya dong. Wah, sudah ada pesanan ini dari Bapak Johan. Sabar ya Pak, siapa tahu rezeki Pak. Oke. Bapak Yuniawan Tricahyono. Apakah Bapak Yuniawan Tricahyono ada? Halo, selamat siang Bapak Yuniawan. Bapak Yuniawan Tricahyono, halo. Oh, ini Bapak Iwan Java Dwipa ini ya. Oh, Bapak Iwan boleh di unmute, Pak? Ini banyak yang doain gugur nih. Aduh, jangan dong Pak. Bapak Yuniawan, ini manggilnya Bapak apa? Bapak Iwan ya?
Iya.
Oke, Bapak Iwan. Ini memang namanya Bapak Yuniawan Tricahyono ya? Betul ya?
Betul.
Oke, soalnya namanya beda sama nama di itunya.
Oh,
di
ya.
layar saya. Oke, baik. Baik, Bapak Yuniawan, selamat sekali lagi mendapatkan satu buah
Terima kasih.
32 inch. Bapak mungkin boleh dong dikasih feedbacknya hari ini gimana nih Pak? Eventnya seru nggak Pak?
Iya, terima kasih.
Oke, baik. Baik, terima kasih Bapak Yuniawan Tricahyono. Baik. Bapak Iwan, terima kasih banyak. Kok malu-malu gitu, Pak? Senang nggak Pak dengan hadiahnya, Pak?
Iya, ini teman-teman pada chat ini.
Wow, langsung ya. Baik, sekali lagi saya ucapkan selamat ya Bapak Yuniawan Tricahyono, Bapak Iwan, congratulations sudah mendapatkan satu buah Smart TV. Oke, boleh di-mute kembali. Baik. Artinya sudah habis hadiah yang sudah saya bagi-bagikan hari ini. Untuk informasi tadi, seluruh pengisi feedback form akan mendapatkan tumbler dan cap khusus dari Horangi yang akan dibagikan kepada Bapak Ibu sekalian. Nah, untuk informasi lebih lanjut, mungkin Bapak Ibu ingin berdiskusi lebih lanjut dengan Horangi, silakan klik ke www.horangi.com atau hello@horangi.com atau horangi@metrodata.co.id untuk dapat berdiskusi lebih lanjut ya. Jangan lupa ikuti program partnership-nya tadi yang sudah disampaikan Bapak John. Dapatkan benefitnya dan manfaatnya dan tetap semangat dalam berjualan ya. Oke, baik. Dengan ini telah sampailah kita di penghujung acara webinar kita siang hari ini yaitu Accelerating Multi-Cloud Security, persembahan dari Horangi dan PT Sinex Metro Data Indonesia. Sekali lagi saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Bapak Ibu yang sudah hadir dan berpartisipasi dari awal hingga akhir ya. Semoga informasi yang tadi sudah diberikan dapat bermanfaat untuk Bapak Ibu sekalian. Kami juga ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada speaker-speaker saya yang luar biasa, to my distinguished speakers, thank you so much. Kepada Bapak Lee Heng, kemudian Mr. Paul Haji, kemudian Mr. Darrell Chuan, kemudian Mr. J. Kezavan, kemudian Mr. Rafael Payet, dan Ibu Regina Gabriela. Terima kasih banyak atas informasi yang telah dibagikan ya. Semoga sekali lagi saya ucapkan, semoga bermanfaat bagi Bapak Ibu sekalian ya. Saya juga ingin mengucapkan selamat berpuasa untuk Bapak Ibu yang menunaikan ibadah puasa sampai nanti di hari kemenangan ya, semoga lancar puasanya ya Bapak Ibu dan tetap menjalankan protokol kesehatan dimanapun Bapak Ibu berada. Saya juga ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Horangi dan PT Sinex Metro Data Indonesia sehingga webinar kita dapat berlangsung dari awal hingga akhir dengan lancar. Untuk itu saya Alina, saya pamit undur diri, tetap jalankan protokol kesehatan dimanapun Bapak Ibu berada. Selamat melanjutkan aktivitas, have a nice day dan sampai jumpa di webinar selanjutnya. Terima kasih.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.